They called him a monster, but no one remembers who made him that way. This is how kindness turned into chaos. His name was Arik, a boy who believed in light. He dreamed of protecting his village, of being the hero who saves everyone. He saw the good in the world and wanted only to add to it, offering a helping hand to anyone in need. His laughter was a common sound in the streets, a bright melody in a world that was slowly growing colder. He trained with a worn wooden sword, not for glory, but with the sincere hope of one day standing between the innocent and the dangers that threaten them. But heroes don't survive in a world that loves power more than mercy. His earnest spirit was seen not as a virtue but as a weakness to be exploited. The very people he sought to protect began to turn away, their eyes filled with suspicion and scorn, poisoned by the whispers of those in power. He was an easy target, a boy with nothing but a good heart. He was pushed aside, mocked, and one day a local noble, puffed up with his own importance, kicked him to the ground for no reason other than to feel powerful. It was a small act of cruelty, but it was a sign of the storm to come. The world he loved was showing its true, ugly face. They took everything from him, his home, his mother, his hope. It happened one starless night. Flames licked the sky, consuming the small house he and his mother called home. He was left kneeling in the mud, the rain pouring down, mixing with the tears on his face as he watched the last of his world burn to ash. The warmth of his mother's love, the safety of his home, the bright flame of hope in his heart, all extinguished in a single, brutal act. He was utterly alone, a child adrift in a sea of grief and despair, with nothing left to lose. That night, as he huddled in the ruins, shivering and broken, he heard a voice soft, ancient, and cruel. It slithered into his mind like a serpent, a whisper from the deepest shadows. "You want justice, little one, or revenge?" A shadowy hand, formed from the darkness itself, reached out to him. It offered not comfort, but a pact. Arik hesitated for only a moment, the memory of his mother's smile warring with the searing pain of his loss. He looked at the ethereal hand, then back at the smoldering embers of his life. Justice felt like a distant, hollow word. Revenge felt like a promise. He chose revenge. As his small hand closed around the shadowy appendage, a tremor ran through him. It was a cold that sank into his bones, a power that flooded his veins. Lightning split the sky, illuminating his face for a split second. His eyes, once full of youthful innocence, now burned with a malevolent red glow. The very ground beneath him trembled as if in fear. In that choice, the boy named Arik died, and something else, something ancient and terrible, took his place. The world had created a void in his heart, and the darkness was all too willing to fill it. They called him the Shade, a fitting name, for he moved through darkness, a whisper in the night, unseen, unstoppable. He became a phantom, a rumor spoken in hushed, terrified tones. The boy who once dreamed of saving people now hunted them. Every name that had wronged him, every person who had stood by and watched his world burn, vanished. One by one, they were erased from existence, their last moments filled with the chilling realization that the darkness itself had come for them. Every hand that had mocked him, that had pushed him down, turned cold, touched by a shadow from which there was no escape. He didn't want power anymore, just silence. The silence of the graves he filled. The silence where their laughter and scorn used to be. He walked through burning streets, a cloaked and faceless figure of retribution, as soldiers and guards fell before him like wheat before a scythe. He scaled the walls of a grand castle, the seat of the kingdom's power, the shadows swallowing it whole as he advanced. Flames rose behind him, a grim echo of the fire that had taken everything. He sought the architect of his pain, the king who sat upon a throne built on the suffering of others. And when he finally faced the king, the man who started it all, the truth broke him. The king, no longer regal but a quivering, terrified old man, looked at the fearsome entity before him and stammered out the last words he would ever speak. "It wasn't me. It was your mother who betrayed us all." The words struck Arik with the force of a physical blow. His shadowy form froze. The rage, the quest for vengeance that had defined him, suddenly felt like a lie. All this time he had been hunting a ghost, fueled by a narrative that had just shattered into a million pieces. The pain was a new, sharper kind, a betrayal that cut deeper than any blade. His fury collapsed into a hollow ache. In that moment, he realized there were no heroes, just survivors. The world wasn't black and white. It was a murky, endless gray of desperation and betrayal. Everyone was just trying to survive, even if it meant sacrificing others. His quest for revenge was just another story of survival, twisted into a monstrous shape. He looked at the fallen king, at the crown that had cost so much, and felt nothing. The fire in his soul was gone, replaced by an icy emptiness. He dropped his sword, the clang echoing in the silent throne room. Without a word, he turned and walked away, back into the darkness from which he came. The crown, a symbol of all the pain and lies, toppled from its stand and fell into the fire. The world feared the darkness he became, but no one remembered the light he once was. He was a cautionary tale, a monster to frighten children with. They saw the shadow, but forgot the boy who had cast it. His silhouette disappeared into a sea of shadows, becoming one with the very darkness he had embraced. A forgotten hero, a legendary villain, a boy who was lost to the world long before he became its nightmare. Every monster has a beginning. If you're fascinated by the stories that lurk in the shadows, the legends of how heroes fall and villains rise, then make sure to subscribe to our channel. We explore the dark origins and cinematic legends that you won't find anywhere else. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next story.